The real story of Hacksaw Ridge. On April 1, 1942, Desmond Doss enlisted in the United States Army. Little did he know that after 3.5 years, he would stand on the White House lawn to receive the nation's highest award for his exceptional bravery and courage in the face of danger. Among the 16 million men serving in World War II, only 431 were honored with the Congressional Medal of Honor. One of these recipients was a young Seventh-day Adventist who had not taken the life of a single enemy soldier during combat and adamantly refused to carry a gun. Instead, he relied solely on his Bible and unwavering faith in God as his sources of strength and resolve. President Harry S. Truman warmly shook hands with Corporal Desmond Thomas Doss and held it throughout the citation reading on October 12, 1945, to a gathering outside the White House. Truman expressed his pride and admiration, stating that he considered this award a higher honor than being the president himself. Young Desmond's journey leading up to this moment had been filled with challenges. When Pearl Harbor was attacked, he was employed at the Newport News Naval Shipyard, and he could have asked for a deferment. However, his deep desire to contribute more to his country led him to forego that option. He was determined to risk his life on the front lines to uphold freedom. Upon joining the Army, Desmond assumed that being classified as a conscientious objector would exempt him from carrying a weapon. His aspiration was to serve as an Army combat medic. But fate had different plans, and he found himself assigned to an infantry rifle company. His refusal to bear arms caused significant tension among his fellow soldiers, who looked down on him and labeled him a misfit. One soldier even threatened him, vowing to ensure he wouldn't return alive from combat. His commanding officers, too, sought to remove the lanky Virginian with the gentle Southern drawl, viewing him as a liability. They disapproved of a soldier without a weapon, attempting various means to intimidate him, scold him, burden him with extra demanding tasks, and even declaring him mentally unfit for the Army. They went as far as trying to court-martial him for disobeying a direct order to carry a gun. Yet, their efforts to dismiss him were in vain, as Desmond steadfastly refused to leave. He firmly believed that his duty was to obey God first and then serve his country, placing his unyielding convictions above all else. Desmond's upbringing instilled in him a profound belief in the Bible, and he personally applied the 10 Commandments to his life. During his childhood, he was deeply impacted by a picture his father bought, depicting the 10 Commandments with vivid illustrations. The image of Cain holding a club over his dead brother Abel next to the words, "Thou shalt not kill," left a lasting impression on him. He questioned how anyone could commit such an act, firmly believing that if one truly loved God, they would not take another's life. Another commandment he held dear was the 4th one, emphasizing the importance of keeping the Sabbath day holy. Desmond's religious upbringing included regular church attendance on Saturdays. However, his commitment to attending church clashed with the Army's expectations. He requested a weekly pass to continue his religious observance, leading to disapproval from his comrades and commanding officers. They saw him as out of place, ridiculing him, bullying him, and subjecting him to derogatory remarks. Despite facing harsh treatment, Desmond's genuine concern for others shone through. He displayed remarkable compassion by tending to the blisters on his fellow soldiers' feet during marches and offering aid to those suffering from heat stroke. Desmond never held grudges and treated those who mistreated him with kindness and courtesy, embodying the golden rule of treating others as he would wish to be treated. During his service in combat on the islands of Guam, Leyte, and Okinawa, Desmond's extraordinary dedication to his comrades became evident. While others were engaged in taking lives, he focused on saving them. Whenever the cry for a medic arose on the battlefield, he fearlessly rushed into danger to treat and carry injured soldiers to safety, even amidst enemy gunfire and explosions. On several occasions, he found himself perilously close to enemy lines, where he could hear the voices of Japanese soldiers while tending to the wounded. In May 1945, as German troops surrendered on one side of the world, Japanese forces fiercely defended Okinawa and the Maeda Escarpment, their last line of defense against an Allied invasion of their homeland. Desmond's division repeatedly attempted to capture the daunting rock face known as Hacksaw Ridge. After securing the top of the cliff, they were taken aback by a sudden and fierce counterattack from the enemy, prompting officers to order a retreat. Almost all the soldiers hurriedly climbed back down the steep cliff, except for one. Despite the dangers and orders to retreat, one soldier, Desmond, disobeyed and fearlessly charged back into the firefight to rescue his wounded comrades, even if it meant risking his own life. Many of the wounded soldiers were left behind, scattered across enemy territory. But Desmond's iron determination and unwavering courage led him to save at least 75 lives on that fateful day, May 5, 1945, which was his Sabbath. Ultimately, the Americans succeeded in capturing Hacksaw Ridge, but Okinawa was secured only after a grueling battle, with countless casualties on both sides. During a later night raid, Desmond was severely wounded while hiding in a shell hole with two riflemen. Despite his injuries, he tended to his wounds as best he could. But the situation worsened when a Japanese grenade exploded nearby, sending shrapnel into his leg and hip. While trying to reach safety, a sniper's bullet shattered his arm, rendering him unable to continue as a combat medic. However, before being rescued, he insisted that the litter-bearers attend to another wounded man first, putting someone else's life ahead of his own, even in his weakened state. He was willing to sacrifice himself so that another could live, following the character demonstrated by Jesus Christ, as described in his Bible. In addition to receiving the Medal of Honor, Desmond Doss was honored with several other prestigious awards, including 2 Bronze Stars, denoted by 1 oak leaf cluster, and 3 Purple Hearts, represented by 2 oak leaf clusters. He also earned the Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal with 3 Bronze Stars and a beachhead arrowhead, recognizing his service in 4 combat campaigns, including an amphibious landing under combat conditions. Among his accolades were the Good Conduct Medal, the American Defense Campaign Medal, and the Uncommon Presidential Unit Citation bestowed upon the 1st Battalion, 307th Infantry, 77th Infantry Division for their exceptional efforts in securing the Maeda Escarpment. The Medal of Honor's origins trace back to the Civil War when it was established by President Abraham Lincoln in 1862. In 1962, during its centennial celebration, Desmond Doss was chosen by other Medal of Honor recipients to represent them at a ceremony held at the White House, where he had a pleasant conversation with President John F. Kennedy. After his discharge from the Army in 1946, Desmond contracted tuberculosis, which significantly affected his health. He spent a considerable portion of the following 6 years in hospitals, as the harsh conditions he endured during his service in the Pacific Islands, including cold and wet nights spent in muddy foxholes, took a toll on his well-being. As the disease advanced, doctors had to perform surgery to remove his left lung and 5 ribs. Desmond bravely lived with just 1 lung for the rest of his life, until it too failed. At the age of 87, Corporal Desmond Thomas Doss passed away on March 23, 2006, after being hospitalized due to breathing difficulties. He was laid to rest in the National Cemetery in Chattanooga, Tennessee. If you enjoyed it and would like to see more like it in the future, like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future uploads. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.